It took 2 days to edit. And there was so much information that there are 80 tapes to send. 80. These are the tapes recycled, given to me by Los Alamos. But the rest of them I had to buy, and it cost $40. But the postage is going to be okay, because on Media Rate you get 2 for 1. One tape costs $1.42. I use $1.43 because they're self-sticks, and but you can get 2 for 1. So it's okay in the postage, but the time it took, 2 whole days. So now we're going to start wrapping. The wrapping process has started. And why is there so much information? Because Charles F. Dolan, Cablevision Systems Corporation, Callagy, and the hoods that work for Cablevision broke so many laws this past 2 weeks. That's why it took 2 days, because I had to get the information out to you. If they'd lived by the law, there wouldn't be any information to get out to you. There they are, folks. 3 boxes this time instead of 2. 80 tapes wrapped. Isn't that something? Saturday, we labored so hard on Omnibus 20, we got it done. Sunday, it took us all that time to videotape. Monday, all day editing. Tuesday, all day editing. And now Wednesday, wrapping. How many hours did it take to wrap? Oh, I would say 8. 8 hours? Oh, so dumb. Oh, thank you, Mary. Next recording is philosophic. People are in our area selling satellite TV. Goodbye, Dolan.
10 a.m. Sorry I missed you. I was just calling to let you know that we'll be in your area selling free satellite television systems. And well, we just came out with a great new promotion where you can get all your TVs hooked up, all with separate receivers and remotes at no charge. That's a savings of over $1,000. And that's no cost for the equipment, no installation charge. And we're also giving you up to 3 months of programming for free as well. And we offer more channels than cable, commercial-free music, and we also offer your local channels in your area. And you get all this at a monthly cost, which is usually lower than the cost of cable. So give us a call when you get home. You can reach us at 800.
Hooray, 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 hooray. Goodbye, Dolan. Cablevision. Folks, it's 4:43 a.m. I got up at 1:40 a.m. This is Thursday, February 19th, 2004, in preparation for the Rye City Court, Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan and Cablevision Systems Corporation. The Rye City Court called Tuesday and wanted to do a telephone conference, and here it is recorded for you.
But that was...
And that's not much of an accomplishment.
That was a very... Well, it's a big accomplishment. But that was a very interesting attachment. All right, let me see if I can get the...
I'll stay home all afternoon.
to call counsel, Glendora.
Okay, I'll stay right here. And if you don't get him this time, I'll be here all afternoon.
Okay, she's going to try and do it. Okay, Glendora? Yeah, she's going to be available. You know what? They told me to put you on hold.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right.
Very good. Insert before I got the recorder going. He said Franklin was a very accomplished man. He didn't realize it until he read that attachment, and that attachment was a very interesting attachment. Yeah, he's talking about the paper that I sent to Charles Dolan.
You know what happens is when you leave it on hold, so I need that file. I need that Glendora file, which is going to have the calendar. Okay. Thank you. We're all good. Yeah, sure. Okay, come by and meet you up front. Like, sure. Well, I may be upstairs. I don't know. Look, hiding over like that. Yeah, that's what I could like. Well, you're sure. You're going to break me down, you know? You can't be up on the scale. Okay.
5 minutes. I'm going to try to get a hold of Mr. Callaghan.
Okay.
And figure out how to do a conference call on this phone.
All right, this will be 125. You want me to call back?
Well, Glendora doesn't want to give us her number, Judge. She'd rather that we call her. I mean, she'd call us than we call her. So, she's more comfortable doing that. Then you know what, Glendora, can you give me about 10 minutes and call back in about 10 minutes?
All right, do you think that's 1:30?
That'll be fine. 1:30, Judge, is that okay?
Yeah, here goes my lunch.
Okay, 1:30.
Okay, well,
Okay.
all right, thanks. I'll call you back at 1:30.
Okay, bye.
This is 2 days after Valentine's Day. Maybe 3 days. It's February 17th, and it's Tuesday, and it's 1:20 p.m. Try to get facts.
Hi, this is Brad Sachs. I can't take your call right now, but I will return your call as soon as possible, and thank you.
To page this person, press 5 now. Please enter your callback number, then press pound. To cancel, press star. You entered 191494995. If this is correct, press 1 to Thank you. This number will be sent to the pager. You may hang up, or to leave a voice message, please wait for the tone.
Brad, I just got a call from the Peter Lane Court. He wants to have a telephone conference with Callaghan. And it's left right now. They wanted to have it at 12:15, but I wasn't home. So now I'm to call the Rye Court in 6 minutes at 1:30 p.m. They're going to try to get Callaghan. I want to know what you think of this, and I want to know what you think should be said. The only thing that I can think of to do is just to listen to the offer. What's it about? It's an offer, isn't it? I'd like to have you get back to me ASAP. And when you do get back, and you get 914-949-9495, fill out everything in your mind. Don't just tell me you're calling me back. And I'll try to get back in touch with you after I find out anything that's worthwhile telling you. Amen.
This okay?
Oh, that's good.
Hold on.
It's 1:30 p.m. I call the Rye City Court. Yep, I'm here.
Okay, hold on. We're trying it now. Hold on.
Good. Voice control.
Glendora?
Yep.
Mr. Callaghan?
No, I'm Glendora.
No, I know. I'm trying to see if Mr. Callaghan's also on the line.
I am.
Okay, hold on just 1 second, please. I've got them both on the line.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, Mr. Callaghan, did you get a copy of the application or motion?
I did not. I searched my office and the managing clerk's office where all litigation papers are docketed, and we have no such thing.
All right, why don't I do this? In the interest of expediency, it's treated as an application, and we'll go through it one by one. One, she's asked for, Glendora, you've asked for a copy of the tape, is that correct? The tape of the prior proceeding
January.
on the 30th?
January 30th. Yes, please.
Okay. Any audio tape, you mean? Yeah. Okay. Any opposition to that? Okay. Glendora, we will get you a copy of the tape. It is, however, I'm told, a 4-track deal. You cannot play it on a conventional tape recorder.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay, I'll deal with that.
Okay, and it's free, Glendora. We won't even hit you for $15.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for letting me...
You're welcome.
Two thank yous.
Right.
Thank you for letting me have it, and two thank you for free.
Okay, application for videotape. I don't know how you feel, Mr. Callaghan. I'm not permitted to do that.
No, the state law does.
Yeah, okay. Well,
No, hey, there's no state law.
Glendora?
Yeah.
Camera in the courtroom.
Yeah, there are no cameras in the courtroom.
Was that law ran out, and it was not renewed.
Yeah, and my understanding is I'm not permitted to allow it, so it is not allowed.
Well,
The next one is she wants a friend by the name of George McDermott to sit by her side. Is he an attorney?
no, he's not.
Okay, so he's a human being. A person. Okay? All right, Mr. Callaghan, how do you feel about that, sir?
Who is he? Is he a witness?
He's not a witness in the matter, right?
No.
Because that's an excellent question.
No, he's not a witness.
He's kind of a hand holder? What's his role?
Well, he doesn't hold hands, but,
I didn't mean that in a literal sense, Glendora.
what's his role? His role is that, he and I have talked about this case at great length, and he has, told me what he would do, and,
So he's kind of a coach, although he's not an attorney.
yeah, he's not even a coach. He's
Someone to consult with?
he's really an amicus, is what he is.
An amicus. My amicus or your amicus?
Mine.
Your amicus.
My amicus.
Then he ain't a real amicus, is he?
I don't know.
At least not to the court. Mr. Callaghan, I'm okay with it, sir, unless you have a strong objection. Okay. And then, Glendora, it looks like you want me to order or subpoena Mr. Dolan then?
Yes.
I'm not going to do that unless Mr. Callaghan consents. It's really his call.
No, I would not consent to that.
Okay, it's his call, Glendora.
Okay, what's your grounds?
My ground?
Yeah, your grounds.
Counsel can try the case any way he sees fit. Mr. Dolan is a defendant. The appellate term has told us that. And he's a defendant, but he doesn't have to appear. That's counsel's call.
Okay, is that it?
I think that I've picked up on all the four matters you saw. Am I right? Did I miss anything? Remember, Mr. Callaghan doesn't have a copy. I'm looking at my copy. Did I miss anything?
That's very clear, because he was served.
Nobody's disputing that. He doesn't have a copy.
I want him to have a copy.
Well, we'll give him one when he gets to court. You can
Oh, no, he
issue
can't.
one.
He can't
But
have-
it's been
he can't have-
essentially because we have a date set for Thursday. I want to deal with this matter now.
Yeah,
I
wish I could get him a copy. It's 120 pages. He can't handle it at court.
Well, I think the matter's been resolved, and you can probably get him on at your leisure. You okay with that, sir? Okay. All right. Now, while I have both,
I didn't understand that. What was that last point? That the matter's resolved what?
the matter is resolved with respect to your application. It's just been adjudicated.
Yeah, but what about the,
You can get. In other words, I don't think there's a rush to get him a copy.
you don't?
Unless Mr. Callaghan feels otherwise, and he said he doesn't. Okay?
Okay, well, I don't think it's fair to him, but that's okay.
But you know what? We'll have the court make him a copy.
No, I don't want you to do that. It's 120 pages.
Well, okay.
And you can't get it, and I would send him a copy if I knew a way to get it to him.
Well, if you probably have his address, you have his letterhead. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, but I can't go for $17 out of overnight.
I just saved you 15. Look at that. So it's only 2, but that's all right. We'll deal with it. I'll get it to him. And he isn't pressing for it. Okay, now, more importantly, if I can move on, I see this as a trial for damages only.
That's right.
Okay, and Mr. Callaghan, you agree, sir?
That's what the claim is.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's left.
Conversion claim.
Right, and it's a conversion claim for damages. Are there things that we would be able to stipulate
Oh, no,
in
Peter.
a speedy trial?
No, sir.
I'm sorry?
No, sir.
No, sir? You wanna...
No.
No?
No, I'm against stipulating.
You're against stipulating as a
know as a matter of what happened in another trial that I had with you.
Okay, you're again stipulating. Well, let me ask you this. Mr. Callaghan, does she, in your view, does she have to prove that you sent through the tape? That she sent, she sent the tape and you folks were in receipt of the tape?
Yeah, what happened here, Judge, was, as I understand it, she sent the tapes to various cablevision locations. But she did not have a sponsor, and the cable rules, and we'll introduce evidence on that, require that you have a sponsor in the communities which have the public access requirements. So she didn't have one. So at that point, all the tapes that she had sent were sent back to her at the expense of Cablevision, and I'll have a witness to testify to that. She then bundled up all of the tapes that had been sent back to her and sent them to Charles Dolan's home out in Nassau County in one box. We then asked her to pick up the tapes because his home is not a public access broadcast facility. But she declined to do that and then instead filed suit. We then returned the tapes to the court and she retrieved them. So as far as we are concerned, there's no conversion. She has the tapes.
Glendora, is that something you'd be willing to agree to?
Oh, no, that's wrong from point one to
Okay,
point
but you know what? I don't want to belabor this, and I guess we're not going to stipulate anything, so she'll have to prove her case, and that will be it. Okay, Glendora, that's the way you want it, correct?
Is that if Glendora would bring to court the box and the tapes that were retrieved.
The tapes are not the issue. It's the labor. The $3,000 is for the labor.
Okay.
Okay? The tapes are a dead issue.
Could you bring the tapes though to court?
No, the tapes have long gone. The tapes that, by the time the tapes were brought to court, the news on the tapes was so old it couldn't be cablecast anymore. The tapes are not an issue. And I never asked for the tapes to be returned, and the appellate term said that.
It is.
Well, okay, we don't have to argue that. I was asking whether or not we could stipulate anything. Apparently, Glendora does not want to, and I guess disputes at least some of the facts in your alleged facts in your recitation. So we won't stipulate. We'll try it all. Okay?
What time do you think you should be there?
I think we called it for 9. Does that work for you? You need a little bit more time? Yeah, you live locally, don't you?
I live within walking distance.
Okay, and Glendora, does 9 o'clock work for you?
Yes, we're all planning to be there.
Okay.
When she says we all, does Glendora have witnesses in addition to herself?
Are there witnesses, Glendora?
I would not call them witnesses. They are monitors.
Okay. Well, as long as they're not witnesses. If they're witnesses, they can be, but then they've got to stay out of court while people are testifying as to facts.
Is Mr. Callaghan bringing any witnesses?
Yes.
Who?
An employee of Cablevision.
Name?
Her name is, and she's a senior official of the company, her name is Chris Savarino, who you have sued before, Glendora.
She's hardly a senior official, okay? She's hardly a senior official. Any other witnesses?
That's it.
Okay, so Glendora, this is a one-witness case insofar as you are concerned, and a one-witness case as far as Cablevision and Dolan is concerned, and some documents. Is that correct?
Yeah. Is there going to be a settlement?
No.
Why not?
Because there's not going to be one.
Doesn't have to be
Evidence about all of the courts around the United States that Glendora has sued Cablevision and including myself, and all of the orders that have been entered by courts precluding her from using the court system, because this is one more chapter in a continual harassment of this company and its lawyers.
Not the issue. The issue is this case. It's not any other case in the United States. It is this case. And that's...
I really didn't place this call to have this argument. Okay?
Yeah.
Glendora, I will see you in Entourage, Glendora and Company. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome very much.
Take care.
Okay, see you Thursday, sir.
Thank you again. Bye-bye.
That was on February the 18th,
So it wasn't
Tuesday.
an offer.
Peter Lane, Robert Callaghan, and Glendora. And Annette Cipriano placed the call.
Jill from Live City Court. I'm going to let you know that Judge Lane will be putting in a conference call approximately 12:15 to 12:30 with Mr. Callaghan. He will be calling you at that time. Thank you. Bye.
Tuesday, 2:35 a.m. Hi, Glendora. This is Andy Hersman. I got your invitation to come down to court, and I would really love to come down, but I wasn't able to put in for the time for my job in time. So it was, I'm not able to get off from my job, and I regret that because I do owe you. I really wish you a lot of luck at the court, and if there's another court date, please let me know, ahead of time, and I will definitely do my best to get there. And what else is going on? Yeah, I'm trying to fight this thing about getting my camera in the courtroom. I called a lot of these local papers and explained to them the situation. I thought maybe they would give me some press. And since they're in the same business, and they should be looking out for free speech. But so far I haven't really gotten a response, a satisfactory response actually. Well, one reporter actually called me and asked what the deal was, but they didn't really act upon it, so. But I'm still trying. Okay, I think that's about it. Again, I apologize. I really wanted to help you out, and unfortunately I have a full-time job and I just can't take off, without, notice, so. But I will try again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Poor Peter Zenger. Poor Peter Zenger. Okay, I think we got these.
To record A. Messages deleted.
Don't you love the way the boss holds his meetings? He puts forth his ideas, and then he says, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say bye.
Where Charles Dolan paid to get out of a lawsuit. Richard W. Anderson, a magistrate judge who defied the United States Code in Billings, Montana. Okay. So Benton is another magistrate who did the same thing that Anderson did. Benton is in where? United States District Court in Washington State. Monica J. Benton has no standing. She cannot touch anything that Glendora has submitted without Glendora's consent in writing. This is the law, Title 28, United States Code, Section 636. A magistrate cannot touch your case unless you give the magistrate consent in writing. Monica J. Benton has no standing. This drooling drivel of hers of January the 15th, the year 2004, in addition to being a fraud, is not stamp filed, making it a nullity. Benton has violated the United States Code. This is heinous enough. Add to it, she has violated the United States Constitution.
Left at the light.
Geez, $2.09 down here.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Westchester
Oh,
for you.
wow. That's terrible.
That's terrible. It's Westchester.
Purdy Avenue.
Pretty expensive to live around here.
must
That's where all the money is, Westchester County.
Yeah. Wow.
Mom, Purdy Avenue.
Guess so.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like pretty.
You have to work for a judge
Yeah.
to get by,
Yes, so.
or be a judge.
$95?
No, definitely not 95.
287.
You want 287 west. 287 west.
Enterprise.
Is that who you used to drive?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Rent a car.
2 days a week I drove for. I did that, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah. Does anyone want a Milky
Two.
Way?
Wait,
Yeah.
please, I want to go right.
Please,
This way, right?
Lester, are we getting on here?
287 west.
This is west?
I don't know, what's it say?
That's going towards
287.
White Plains.
That's right.
West, that's right.
May I please have one?
Yes, man.
287 west is La Philly.
She heard candy.
If I can get it open. Oh, there are scissors. I have to get them out. You strong?
Morning, folks, morning, folks. It's February the 21st, and do you know what that means? That means 1 month from today is spring. We've done 2 months of bad weather, cold weather, but spring is here, and we toughed it out. And you sissies who go to Florida, you see, you don't have that exhilaration that we have. See, you don't know what March the 21st means, and you don't have that exuberance that we experience when winter is over. What you're looking at is odious Charles F. Dolan, chairman of Cablevision Systems Corporation, odious corporation, and all of his hoods, and odious liar for hire, Park Avenue, Robert M. Callaghy, who lives in Rye, New York. What you have there is Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan and Cablevision Systems Corporation. The trial for this case was Thursday, February 19th. It's interesting to know, February 19th, next to that, Leviticus 19, do no injustice in your judgment. You hear that, Rye City Court? Do no injustice in your judgment. Leviticus 19, a book of Moses. I don't know where to start with you to report on this. It is so unwelding, and it is also unnecessary, and it is also evil and crooked. What shall I do? What shall I do? Where shall I start? I played for you the telephone conference. I am going to oppose City Judge Peter Lane on not letting me videotape my trial. Now why? because you're the reason, really. You're really the reason. Because you are the public, and you have a First Amendment right to know. And these are the public's courtrooms. These courtrooms belong to you. This is not a country club, okay? So if I want a videotape to bring that record to you, to the public, that should not be inhibited. It should not be prohibited. Now you raise this a question right away in your head. Why don't they want it videotaped? What are they doing wrong? What don't they want you to know? So I'm taking exception on that, and depending upon the decision and order that comes out of this trial, I may take this to the Supreme Court of the United States as an original action. Not going through any lower courts, just as an original action. Financing of that will have to be cogitated. Now, I also take exception to the fact that when I walk into that courthouse, I have a videotape camera, I have an audio tape recorder, a microcassette, and I have a digital audio tape recorder. I am stripped of that. That infuriates me. For all of the reasons supra. Now, what do you think of that? That has to stop. That is dis-Americanism. They make fools of us all over the world. We always bragging about human rights, civil rights, free speech, and here we're fools when you walk into the Rye City Court and you're stripped of your cameras and your telephones and your recorders. Okay. I also take exception, very serious exception, with City Judge Peter Lane, and not doing a subpoena on Charles F. Dolan, the billionaire. Now, you know who Charles F. Dolan is? He owns Cablevision. He owns Madison Square Garden. He owns the New York Knicks, the New York Rangers. He owns Radio City Music Hall, the Rockettes, the Wiz, American Movie Classics, Bravo. One thing he doesn't own is his soul. One thing he does not own is soul. I own nothing like that, but I do own my soul. So when I asked the court to subpoena Charles F. Dolan as a witness, here's what Peter Lane says. Oh no, that's up to counsel. Counsel calls his witness. That's crazy. I'm the plaintiff. I can call any witness I want. And I called for Charles F. Dolan, and I was denied that. Good United States Supreme Court case. Good. Good. Claim. One thing I must say up front, and I must keep saying it to you. We have to admire, respect, and love the good nature of Peter Lane. He is always good-natured. And he sits in that courtroom on a trial, giving magnanimously of his time, and body, and mind, and heart. He must be commended for that. He's extremely amiable and ingratiating and likable until it comes time to write the order. This thing is so big, it is amorphous, and I don't know how to report it to you. I can give you the hours. I got up at 1:40 a.m. Thursday morning, the day of the trial. And I got ready and packed and did some last-minute preparations and some last-minute reviewing. And I had everything in the 1993 Lincoln by 5:30 a.m. And dear, dear neighbors, Linda Odell and cute little 9-year-old Megan appeared and got into the car, ready to give themselves to America. We picked up Richard and Florence Gustafson, Swedish, Gustafson, Gustafson. I had a Spanish teacher in high school named Gustafson. I can spell it, but I can't seem to pronounce it. Oh, that's because I don't have my teeth in, right? My front teeth. We picked them up, and we were on the road at 5:45. And it's 112 miles down to Rye. Rye is in Westchester County, folks. It's the next to the last town in the state of New York. It's Rye, Fort Chester, and then Connecticut. The evening before, insert this, it's out of chronology. Everything will be out of chronology and out of sequence. I spent an hour listening to George McDermott saying what he thought should be said at trial. And so in the dark we left, but nowadays, so close to spring, it's light by 6:15. And it's light almost up to 6 p.m. in the evening. So there we went off. We had on our side the temperature, 34 degrees. And no precip. It was a beautiful sunny day. And it was a beautiful day in many other ways. Good things happen, folks, and bad things happen. We got there about 7 o'clock. It took us 2¼ hours, I believe. And my people had to go to the bathroom, and they had to have coffee. So we took care of that. And coffee and rye cost $7. That's right. That's Rye, New York for you. It exudes affluence. That kind of affluence that makes people very unhappy. And along comes a truck that says, "Fight judicial tyranny and elect George McDermott to Congress." Huge, big truck with huge signs all the way around it, speaking against the injustice of the courts. Courts, whose business is what, folks? What is their business? What's the business of the courts? Right, justice. And all that comes out of them is injustice. Or mostly what comes out of them is injustice. So there was the truck from Washington, D.C., and there was George McDermott, all dressed up in a nice-looking black suit. A shirt and a tie and shoes and socks. So he went and parked the truck, thank heavens, a long way from that courthouse, which was so anti-judicial. And we talked, and we visited, and we had a good time. And there was only one case on the calendar before us, and that was a civil civic matter, about a woman not meeting the Department of Buildings, the code. And the building inspector brought his little boy with him. The reason we had the little boy and the reason we had Megan is that this is spring vacation. That's like the teacher who was asked by the reporter. First teacher was asked, "What do you like best about being a teacher?" And she says, "Motivating young minds, shaping the next generation, making them good Americans." And then the reporter says to the next teacher, "What are the 3 things you like about being a teacher?" And she says, "June, July, and August." And then Callaghy arrived, Park Avenue lawyer. Dick Gustafson said he saw trouble right away in his $1,000 suit, Callaghy's $1,000 suit. But wife, Florence Gustafson, says he had a run in his sock. He had a run in his stocking. And it was this wide. And he was also wearing a white baseball cap, which I think is pretty incongruous to being a Park Avenue lawyer. He's very, very thin. I wonder if he's well. I know he's certainly not well spiritually or not well mentally. But let me put, this is not going to be in sequence, okay? Because it's just too unwieldy. It's a virago. So I'm going to tell you this. Toward the end of the trial, and Callaghy said, and he was obviously distressed, and he was pleading to the court that this has to stop, Glendora suing people. Well, that's a dumb thing. What can the Rye City Court do about that? What jurisdiction does the Rye City Court have other than Rye? And Glendora sues all over the United States of America. She just got a packet back from the United States Court of Appeal, from the United States District Court in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I sued something like 55 judges and other violators of American rights. And this packet has a whole bunch of summons. Peter Lane can stop that. Callaghy does the dumbest things. Here he is supposed to be a lawyer, an American Bar Association member, And he does the stupidest things. Anyway, what he said was, here I am, complained about on television all over the country. And this poor woman here, meaning Christine Savarino, the she-devil of Cablevision, taking a chat with Glendora off of TV everywhere she can and in over 6 systems. And here this poor woman is being talked about on television all over the country. What's the answer to that, folks? The answer to that is, do not break the law. If you don't want to be sued, do not break the law. If you want to be sued, then break the law. You're going to be sued every time. By me, anyway, if I have anything to say about it. I will not put up with it, will you? Will you put up with dis-Americanism? Will you put up with your heritage of rights? The Folsoms came over from England in around 1648, and they fought and offered their lives. Flo says, "You're fighting City Hall." And they said, "George Washington was fighting George III. Is that any reason to stop?" Okay, so that was a gratification to me that Callaghan is upset by the lawsuits. And why it is a gratification to me is that maybe someday he'll learn to live by the law of the land and stop lying for a living. Callaghan lives in Rye. He told the judge he was within walking distance of the court. If he's within walking distance of the court, why didn't he come to court on January 30th when we had the conference? Well, I started with an opening statement. And I asked, first of all, is there a Bible in this court? Is there a Bible in this court? And Peter Lane said in his jovial manner, "Why, we have a Bible, and here it is right here. I brought mine because I wanted to put myself under oath." And he says, "No, that comes later when you take the witness stand." But even in my opening statement, I wanted everybody to know, and you to know, that I was telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And I always have. And Dolan, Cablevision, and Callaghan, and Savarino are not. So, what else was in my opening statement? I said I wanted to read into the record as evidence the order of the appellate term, because it was blatant that both Peter Lane and Callaghan were not quoting that order correctly. Did Peter Lane let me do that? No, he did not. I said, I'm keeping it in my back pocket, and if you don't remember what is in that order from the appellate term, I'm going to read it to you. But that should have been read into the record as evidence. And then I told them, over the phone, Peter Lane and Callaghan asked, do I have any witnesses? And I said no. And in the courtroom I said, I did have a witness. He died. And if it hadn't been for the pernicious perversity of Charles F. Dolan and Cablevision Systems Corporation and Robert Callaghan, he might have been able to testify. He might have had the opportunity to testify before he was called, before he died. He might have had that opportunity. And also I told him that he might have lasted longer if he hadn't come to Rye City Court August 15th, year 2002, in 95 degrees and 98 humidity, which dropped his pulse to 20. Again, I tell you that I pointed out to the court, this is February 19th, and Leviticus 19, Leviticus chapter 19, 19 and 19, says, do no injustice in your judgment. As I say, Peter Lane is extremely generous and good-natured, amiable and affable, cheerful, humorous, responsive. He's a lot of good things. But he does some bad things. So I was called to the witness stand, and I took out my 120-page post-conference memorandum and pretrial statement, which I read to you. I read it all to you. And I pointed out on page 76 the hours and dollars that I was injured with this litigation against stubborn, stingy Charles F. Dolan, Cablevision Systems Corporation, and Robert M. Callagate, lawyer for hire. And it was 195 hours, and it was $522 for post, travel, and print. And there was some discussion of this, and guess what? Guess what? Peter Lane denied it. I'm not to get paid for my labor and my expenses for the litigation that this bum, Charles F. Dolan, has caused me. I could not believe that he did that. And I cannot believe that he caved into Callagate to do that. And don't you think that I didn't say right away, what is your statutory basis? And don't you think that wasn't ignored? And don't you think that I didn't have to say that 3 times throughout this trial? First of all, I have to give you the frame. Peter Lane is late. He's always late to the bench. 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. is how long this trial lasted. And during that expense, I asked 3 times, I want your statutory basis for saying that I'm not to be awarded expenses and time and labor that this litigation with Charles Dolan has cost me. I just couldn't believe that. And he did that before lunchtime, before noon, or 1 o'clock, or whatever. Yeah, 12:15 to 1:15 was lunch. Now, I didn't eat a thing. I didn't have anything to eat all that night and all that day up until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I didn't go to the bathroom, and that's bad. That's very bad. I didn't go to the bathroom all that time. I didn't go to the bathroom until I got home at 6:30 p.m. You know what that is? That's over 12 hours. How do I tell you this? I don't know what to do with this. Do I write a post-trial memorandum? This is sort of coming into the mind, to write a post-trial memorandum and write down the good stuff with a smiley face and the bad stuff with an ugly face. Is that a good way to do it? Christine Savarino was not the person that I dealt with as to these videotapes that Charles Dolan did not return. 53 of them. That's what the case is about. They use the word conversion, and I asked them for a definition of conversion, and I asked them 3 times and it was never given. Finally I said, conversion, according to the dictionary, is taking somebody's property and using it for yourself. Well, that's not the case. Cablevision didn't do that. They did not take my property and use it for themselves. They just took my property and didn't return it. So Christine Savarino was not the person that I dealt with as to these tapes. So that everything Christine Savarino said on that stand was hearsay and should not have been admitted as evidence. It was hearsay. And if Peter Lane doesn't recognize that, what will I do? Let's see, what time do we start videotaping? We have to say prayers. And I carry my great big clock with me all the time, and I put it on the plaintiff's table. And throughout that stretch, every 15 minutes, I said a prayer. You want to hear his little heartbeat? Some people have hearts. Okay. So it's 7:45 a.m. What is our prayer, folks? Our prayer is that we rejoice. Why do we rejoice? Because we have such a great God. And God wants us to have such a beautiful universe. And God doesn't have to do all these pretty things for us, like the flowers that are coming in a month. He doesn't have to do that. There will be flowers before a month, won't there? Yes, there will be. There will be crocus, right? Just think all the glory that's coming. Forsythia, magnolias, tulips. What are those very, very pretty ones? Azaleas? No. Those very, very pretty bushes. Yeah, maybe it is azalea. Okay, that's our prayer for 8:45. What was our prayer for 8:30 that we missed? That there's some semblance of justice left when a little pro se poor person such as myself does have a trial, and it is given 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. There's some semblance of justice left, that a little pro se poor person can sue a billionaire, even though he cheats and doesn't dare come and face me, and doesn't dare get on the witness stand, even though he's a coward. There is still some justice. So that's our 7:30 prayer. Now what was our 7:15 prayer? For public access, for the law, Congress, State of New York, and the municipalities, that we must have access to TV. The public must have access to TV. Okay, we're going to say another prayer, aren't we? In 5 minutes. And I think I know what that prayer is going to be about. How do I tell you all the things that happen? Okay, I was telling you about Christine Savarino. She is the evil mistress who took a chat with Glendora off of TV in Yonkers, in Harrison, Portchester, in New Rochelle, Pelham, in Yorktown. My free speech, my right, and to sit down and tell you these things that NBC, ABC, and CBS can't cover, the information they can't give you, and your right to hear it and to know about it. your country. And she acted as though she had never done anything bad. I got signers in, no, it's one of the exhibits here. Oh, yes, this is. Post-Hill Post. See if I can find this exhibit within the next 5 minutes. Well, I can't. Yeah, here it is. I got these signers and I worked hard to get them. Because this evil paper that cable puts out, which is just a harassment, which is trying to be a prevention, to have people support public access as a signer in the local area. Excuse me, I have to let out these 2 cats. This is Chase and Christina. Okay, Crossroads Kitty. Come on. That's good. Two wanted out, folks, and 2 wanted in. Gotta do something about these cats. I have 4 neighbor cats visiting, and then I have 3 cats that I rescued. Yeah, okay, so Tom Rogers and his wife, they signed and supported me. Christine Savarino calls them up and scares them off. That's the end of that. And I lost what I thought was a good friend, Tom Rogers, former vice president of NBC and right-hand man of Robert Wright. Bridget O'Connor in New Rochelle, all for me, signed it, is going to support me. Christine Savarino calls her up, she drops out. Isn't this enough to upset you? Carolyn Allen in Yonkers, all for me. My friend signs it. Christine Savarino calls her up, talks her out of it. Scares her off. You know what this is, don't you? It's extortion. Who were some of the other people that she scared off? Richard Ogden, friend of mine, New Rochelle, I thought. I rescued 6 cats for him, helped him pay to get him spayed. Christine Savarino calls him up, and he retreats, and he recoils. Joseph M. Potney, another one, in Putnam Valley, signs it for me. Good Joe. Christine Savarino, 2 or 3 phrases, and he runs away. That's what this whole thing is. Just stop and think. The money that this costs Cablevision just to prepare this stuff, let alone 6 hours, 7 or 8 hours travel for the whole day. Think what that costs. And I'll tell you, that's going to be the next lawsuit. Oh yes, there's going to be a next lawsuit against you, Charles Dolan, and Cablevision and Callagy and Savarino. There's going to be another one. Oh, and also Mastorelli, Cecilia Mastorelli in Peekskill, for not giving me the information to which I'm entitled when I spend 40 hours and $40 to send in the renewals for this period. April 1st to September 30th, year 2004. There's going to be another lawsuit. wanted out, folks, and 2 wanted in. Gotta do something about these cats. I have 4 neighbor cats visiting, and then I have 3 cats that I rescued. Yeah, okay, so Tom Rogers and his wife, they signed and supported me. Christine Savarino calls them up and scares them off. That's the end of that. And I lost what I thought was a good friend, Tom Rogers, former vice president of NBC and right-hand man of Robert Wright. Bridget O'Connor in New Rochelle, all for me, signed it, is going to support me. Christine Savarino calls her up, she drops out. Isn't this enough to upset you? Carolyn Allen in Yonkers, all for me. My friend signs it. Christine Savarino calls her up, talks her out of it. Scares her off. You know what this is, don't you? It's extortion. Who were some of the other people that she's scared off? Richard Ogden, friend of mine, New Rochelle, I thought. I rescued 6 cats for him, help him paid to get him spayed. Christine Savarino calls him up, and he retreats, and he recoils. Joseph M. Potney, another one, in Putnam Valley, signs it for me. Good Joe. Christine Savarino, 2 or 3 phrases, and he runs away. That's what this whole thing is. Just stop and think. The money that this costs Cablevision just to prepare this stuff, let alone 6 hours, 7 or 8 hours travel for the whole day. Think what that costs. And I'll tell you, that's going to be the next lawsuit. Oh yes, there's going to be a next lawsuit against you, Charles Dolan, and Cablevision and Callaghan and Savarino. There's going to be another one. Oh, and also Mastorelli, Cecilia Mastorelli in Peekskill, for not giving me the information to which I'm entitled when I spend 40 hours and $40 to send in the renewals for this period. April 1st to September 30th, year 2004. There's going to be another lawsuit. And this extortion is going to be a claim in it. Here is our 8 a.m. prayer. You say it. You say the 8 a.m. prayer. Spirit of God, descend upon my heart. Wean it from earth with all its pulses move. Speak to my weakness, mighty as thou art, and make me love thee as I want, as I ought to love. Out of sequence, but one good thing that happened, I charged $300 an hour for my work, for my 50 years in broadcast TV and my 30 years in cable TV. And the fact that I know how to handle public access, and I'm on 42 public access stations, and I know how to get on them, and I know how to stay on them, and I know how to produce the videotapes, and I know how to edit them, and I know how to mail them, and all that. And I know how to stand up in court for public access rights. All that expertise is $300 an hour. Now, cat fur on my nose. So I wanted to submit Glendora's appearance on David Letterman. I wanted to submit that video. And Lane hemmed and hawed, and finally he didn't do it, but he wanted to see it after the trial. So the court officer put the tape into the TV and played it. And it was fun to watch Peter Lane enjoy it. He enjoyed it in that ebullient style of his, and he laughed so hard at the what David Letterman said and how Glendora countered. He really enjoyed it. He really laughed loud. It was good to see that. It was nice that he did that, but it was wrong that he didn't admit it as evidence. Why was that evidence? Well, it showed that Glendora's TV experience is worth $300. It's no easy job to counter David Letterman, let me tell you, in front of America. But it did happen, and it was excellent. You've seen it many times. Excuse me just a second, I gotta get the fur off my nose. You know, it's a wonderful thing, nerves. Every part of the body, there's a nerve there to tell you what's going on. You know, God is such a great creator. Not just us, but the little creatures too. And we've covered the flowers. Then another thing that happened, he said that I could have the audio tape of January 30th, but it didn't come forth, and I had to ask for it. And I think that, well, you suspect that somebody was hoping I would forget that, because Callaghy says, and I asked for the audio tape for this trial, and Callaghy says, she's going to take that audio tape and she's going to play it on TV, public access. And Peter Lane says, this is going to be on public access? Before he said I could have the tape. This is going to be on public access? Well, then I'll have to think to see if I have the authority to do that. What do you call that? Wow! Censorship or not? Your public access? You don't have a right to hear the trial tape? Your courts? Not only is it censorship, but it's editorial control. This is a government, a municipality, a court, exercising editorial control, which is not allowed. It's a civil rights case. Title 42, United States Code, Section 1983, Civil Rights. Congress shall make no law limiting free speech. Okay? What that means is that no state actor, a state actor is in federal government, municipal government, a state government, any government, shall inhibit free speech. You know, this whole trial, and I kept saying this to him, Peter Lane, this is Peter Zenger. The Peter Zenger trial was in Mount Vernon, just south of Rye. Is it straight down Route 1? You go to Mount Vernon by going down Route 1? Anyway, it's not far from there. You get on Route 22 for sure. In fact, it was on Route 22. Peter Zenger, Peter Lane. This is a fight for a free press. It's a little poor, informal pauperous fighting a great big, block-headed billionaire. But it is nothing but a Peter Zenger trial, a free press trial. In the year 2004. When was the Peter Zenger trial? Was it in the 1600s or the 1700s? 300 years ago? But it's still here. Evil is still here, trying to take away the free press. And we look mighty silly doing these things to the rest of the world. And we look like great big phonies. Linda Odell, I've mentioned to you before her ability to draw pictures. And she drew a picture of Peter Lane at his bench. There isn't much room up there in the witness chair in the Rice City Court. Let me make sure you're seeing this. Look, you're almost there, aren't you? Isn't she good? This is Callaghan, this is Savarino, and Peter Lane. She tried to draw Glendora and George McDermott, but it didn't come out, she said. There's not room up there, much room on that desk of his. So I brought up some of the things that I had room for. And I said, can I put these on your desk? And he said, sure. He says, but it's bench, it's a bench. It's a bench. Oh, it's a workbench. And little Megan, 9 years old, imagine a little 9-year-old sitting through 2 hours of travel, 6 hours of trial, and another 2 or 3 hours home. As I say, we left around 6 a.m. We didn't get home until 6 p.m. Our route is the Taconic, 84 east, 684 south, the Hutchison River Parkway, and you get on to the Rye exit, and you get on to 287, and then you take the Rye exit off of 287. 247 miles round trip. Just because of a stingy, blockheaded, stubborn billionaire. Well, you remember it took Steinbrenner and Bloomberg to break Dolan and give poor subscribers the Yankee games. Can you imagine depriving Yankee fans of Yankee games? You own a cable TV system and you won't cable cast Yankee games? Can you imagine anything so stupid and so unfair? Well, this is what I'm up against, Charles F. Dolan. So I cross-examined Christine Savarino. Her answers were not truthful. She didn't tell the evil that she had done. And a point that I kept making was, I began to not understand things. Callaghan was adumbrating, and Peter Lane was not in the control that he should have been. That I was beginning to say, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand what's going on here. Now that's very important. If you go to court on a criminal charge, and the judge reads you the charge, and then he has to say to you, do you understand it? And if you say, no, I don't understand it, then the judge goes ahead anyway. Your appeal is automatically granted because you didn't understand the charge. Nothing else matters, your appeal will be automatically granted. Unless you have a crooked judge, of course. 3 crooked judges. And I kept saying, and this is true, folks, I kept saying, small claims is pro se turf. It's no place for a Park Avenue lawyer. I said that a couple of times, I think. I don't know what to do about this report to you. Let's call that enough for now. I want to go to sleep. I have to, this is one short, Tradership to America. Again, well, I don't have to tell you, I'll just read it to you. Here's a bunch of lies from the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. That's Manhattan. And that's New York. New York all the way up to the Northern District, Albany, and Connecticut, and Vermont, I think. I don't know about New Hampshire. It may be in the First Circuit. But here is their evil paper. It's even a mandate. They did this lie as a mandate. Don't they have any regard for their God or for their country or even for themselves? United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, at a stated term of the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, held at the United States Courthouse at Foley Square in the city of New York on the 9th day of February 2005, docket number 033040, Glendora versus Brooklyn Community Access Television, the court noting that having entered an order in 038040, Glendora versus Brooklyn Community Access Television, that Glendora shall be required to petition the court for leave to appeal prior to filing any future appeals, and the court further noting that having failed to receive any petition for a leave to appeal in the present appeal, it is hereby ordered that the above captioned case is dismissed for failure to comply with this court's order. For the court, Roseanne B. McKechnie, clerk, by Gerard Whidbey, intake case manager. You call that an order? Tell me how many signatures of judges you see on there. Just tell me, do you see any signatures of judges on there? Do you? No. You not only need a signature of one judge, you need a signature of 3 judges. This is a court of appeals. 3 judges, a panel. Okay, let me get on. So what do? I take a great big 9.5 by 9.5 by 12 envelope. Okay, like this. And I write on it back and front so everybody can read it on the postal trail from here to New York. And I say, John M. Walker, he's President Bush's cousin, you know, Chief Judge, U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, 40 Foley Square, New York, 10007. This is the 315th lie and cheat that Glendora has caught the U.S. Court of Appeals, second, perpetrating. Glendora does not have to petition the court for leave to appeal. There is no order signed by a judge, let alone 3 judges stating the same. Besides, Glendora has a constitutional right to appeal, and you have the name of the case wrong. Caption, captious. It is Glendora versus Brooklyn Community Access TV. There is no excuse for your illiteracy. You have the wrong mailing list and have had even after being notified 5 times. There is no excuse for your illiteracy. Glendora did file the paper you required. You boomeranged it, kangaroo court that you are. Glendora sent it back to you in an open-faced letter such as this one you are reading, and this is the 315th lie and cheat Glendora has caught you in. You are currently being sued in the United States District Court in Milwaukee for your long list of violations. Glendora is invoking Criminal Code, Title 18, United States Code, Section 1941, RICO, Racketeer Influence Crime Organization, to give her new court jurisdiction over your criminal lying and cheating. And I quote the law right here. This is not the RICO. This is the, if anybody willfully, deliberately misrepresents, that person is going to be fined or jailed. And that's Criminal Code 18, U.S. Code Section 1001. Yours in truth and in Amor Patriae. Glendora, February 21st, 2004, without prejudice. Uniform Commercial Code, Book 1, 207. Glendora. And here's where they never can learn the right address. Why are the dumbest people we have in this country in the courts? Why is that? I read something this morning that speaks to you. The door of utterance opens to you. Exercise true justice. Show mercy and compassion. Everyone to his brother. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the alien or the poor. Let none of you plan evil in his heart against his brother. Where's that from? Zechariah chapter 8, verse 2. Okay, I gotta go over and get you some jokes. File this away. Yeah. The woman said to the man, I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth. And he said, that's right, honey, you'd get killed in the rush. And the soap company, they had a contest. We'll write 20 words and you send us $25,000. And the boy who took the girl out to Chinese dinner, and he said to her, how do you like your rice? Boiled or fried? And she said, thrown. And the man, the groom-to-be said to the bride-to-be, honey, I'm not much to look at. She says, that's all right, honey. You'll be in the office most of the time. And the girl who said to the boy on their first date, did anybody ever tell you how wonderful you are? He says, no. She says, well, where'd you get the great idea? And Bob, Daddy, says, I keep telling my daughter, she keeps looking for the perfect guy, and I keep telling her, stop the search, honey. Your mother got the last one. Patient to the dentist, Doc, you still haven't pulled the right tooth yet. Dentist, no, but I'm getting closer. And you heard about the dentist who married the manicurist? They fight tooth and nail. And your second day of your diet is always the easiest. You know why? Woo! You know why? You go off of it. Okay, we forgot our 8:15 prayer. What's it going to be? Well, I don't know what's going to be videotaped next, so I will say this. God be with you till we meet again. Keep love's banner floating o'er you. Put his loving arms around you. God be with you till we meet again. Okay, everybody. I slept for an hour. Here's a letter from Hopewell Reformed Church. A very, very good church. To Peter Lane, City Court, 21 McCullough Place, Rye, New York, 10580. Dear Judge Lane, and it's from Pastor Taylor W. Holbrook of the Hopewell Reformed Church. And here's little Connie Cat. Dear Peter Lane, I write this letter for Glendora, who has been connected with our congregation for about 4 years. Glendora is a woman of strong character, strong opinions, and full of a love for life and a love for God. She has a passion for freedom of expression and reacts strongly when that is challenged, especially by the media. I have enjoyed Glendora immensely as her pastor and as her friend, and I commend her to you as one to whom it is good to listen, and as whose intentions are good. It is truly a pleasure for me to write a letter in her support, and I would welcome any further contact at the phone number above if you would like to discuss this further. Sincerely, Taylor W. Holbrook, Pastor, Hopewell Reformed Church. 845-221-9542. To know Christ and to make Him known. You know why this is such a good letter? Because he prayed. Okay? He prayed. And he found out what to say. And he is telling Peter Lane, she's a good person to listen to. Now that has more than one meaning. These are our palms that the cats are sitting on from Palm Sunday of the year 2003. And I have already made arrangements with my current pastor that these palms should be burned, and I've asked that we be given communion privately in the sanctuary of the Methodist Church, and that these ashes be administered on Ash Wednesday. The ashes of cross on my forehead, and I asked the pastor, could he put the ashes of Franklin's cross on my hand. And it is all set up for 1:30 p.m. Look at the cat. On Wednesday. Ash Wednesday. Now you got to see if she'll do that again for you. Here, Nicole. Ooh, she jumped up. Way up there. Here, come over here. Show the people how cute you are. This is a little Connie cat. She wants that palm. Okay. George McDermott gave me this at the Rye City Court. It's the legal documentation. Concern with the predatory lending of Jeffrey L. Harding, Moore, they are trying to, they took away George's business, a roller skate rink, where he was doing very well. And they're trying to take Edwards. And they are, these predatory lenders, Clifford Moore, are trying to take away his house. These are our palms that the cats are sitting on from Palm Sunday of the year 2003. And I have already made arrangements with my current pastor that these palms should be burned, and I've asked that we be given communion privately in the sanctuary of the Methodist Church, and that these ashes be administered on Ash Wednesday. The ashes of cross on my forehead, and I asked the pastor, could he put the ashes of Franklin's cross on my hand? And it is all set up for 1:30 p.m. Look at the cat on Wednesday, Ash Wednesday. Now you got to see if she'll do that again for you. Here, Nicole. Ooh, she jumped up, way up there. Here, come over here. Show the people how cute you are. This is little Connie cat. He wants that palm. Okay. George McDermott gave me this at the Rice City Court. It's the legal documentation. Concerned with the predatory lending of Jeffrey L. Harding, Moore, they took away George's business, a roller skate rink, where he was doing very well. And they're trying to take Edwards. And they are these predatory lenders. Clifford Moore, are trying to take away his house, and there's no need that George should go through that. These people are obviously crooks. They're obviously predators. They're obviously bank lawbreakers, and there's no reason that they should put George McDermott through all this litigation. The court should have given George McDermott justice years ago, years and years, and let the man live in peace. The latest fight with Charles Dolan, in addition to the lack of fiduciary responsibility in having Callaghy there all day and charging thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which of course he's delighted, and the longer he draws it out, the more money he gets paid, and the more papers he submits, the more money he gets paid. He gets paid by the hour and by the pound of paper. So other than those violations of human rights and civil rights, we have Charles Dolan violating Glendora's right to have the information about her TV program that she's entitled to. Now, last week I paid you several telephone calls of evidence of how Cecilia Mastorelli and Christine Savarino are denying Glendora's right to know if they received her applications and renewals for a chat with Glendora, all of which have no legal basis. And so this is Glendora sending in more applications. And there's no reason I have to apply. Congress has given me the right to have a public access program. And here it is, our 10 o'clock prayer, and that is that we are very happy because we are doing what we should do. We are standing up for right, and we enjoy it. We enjoy standing up for right, and we enjoy fighting for what is right. Here is, this is Cecilia Mastorelli at Cablevision Peekskill, a little dinky place at 1053 Park Street. and Peekskill. That's where Pataki comes from, Peekskill, Pataki. Here is Mary Ramage's renewal. And I have to call every one of these people to get the information that Cecilia could give me. I have to call 15 different people to get the information that one person could give me, and that one person has an obligation to give me. And so that's part of the next lawsuit against Charles Dolan, Cablevision, and Robert Callaghan. Thank you, Zeke Hunter and Cross River. You've been a friend for years, putting up with this nonsense. And when they call you up and try to scare you away, you stand your ground. Robert Angelo, another steadfast and loyal friend to good. Here's a letter from Mary Ramage in Mohegan Lake, that's part of the Yorktown system. I tried to call you a friend of yours. She means Cecilia Mastroelli, hardly a friend. Had called to tell you and me we are going on TV in Yorktown on April 1st, 2004 to September 30th, 2004. I only got these 4 digits of her number. I couldn't check the first numbers. Well, there are 737, and I called Mary and gave them to her, and I thanked her. And when Franklin died, Cecilia asked the Mary Knoll Fathers to say a prayer, a mass for Franklin. And I sent the Mary Knoll Fathers $50 for that. And what do I get from the Mary Knoll Fathers but a thank you and a request for more money? So I told Cecilia that you send them the money and that you're the backstabber. $50 of Franklin's money was wasted through you. And how come you tell Paris that a driver's license is no good when Savarino yesterday in court said a driver's license is okay and it is on the book and it is in the book as okay. You just want to do evil and to make trouble. Further letter to Cablevision Cecilia Mastroelli. George Paris is sending you a copy of his license today. And by the way, what is your statutory authority to make this a condition of cablecasting in Chatwick, Glendora? And the same is sufficient for your specious requirements, quote unquote, and do not harass my signer any further. We have a cute little cat here, and there's something you can pray for. What a personality this little kitten has. She's purring away. That's our prayer for 10 o'clock. Thank you, God, for the animals and all their personalities. And a driver's license is sufficient for your specious requirements, and do not harass my signer further. This is just more harassment. Savarino did a botched job on the witness stand yesterday. Maybe you will do better. Why didn't you tell Ramage and what channel it was on? She doesn't know what channel it's on. Ramage doesn't know what channel it's on. Do you realize the hours of my work and the dollars of my money that you have ruined with your Budinsky? I go out and get signers, and then they call them up and butt in. But I don't have to tolerate you much longer. Time Warner is coming, and you'll be ingested. Even Charles F. Dolan is leaving Cablevision. Even Charles F. Dolan is switching from cable TV to satellite. At annual meeting June 4th, he'll be gone. And he's going to leave Cablevision. He's going to go over to a broadcast satellite operation. And I will take full credit. Well, I have to give some credit to George Steinbrenner and Bloomberg. Dolan doesn't want to face Glendora at another annual meeting. So I think that's one good reason that he's retiring as chairman. Karen Heck sent back a signed form for Jim Cahagan in Rockland. Now, that's more like it. You don't do that. And observe, you therefore, that you don't have a quote-unquote contract. There was no affidavit of service, however. This is a big nullifier in the courts. I did a good job on these 20 renewals, 40 hours and $40, printing, post, and travel, and then you abuse thee. And then you abuse them or me, and that's abominable. And I'll bring this up in court. I hope you won't be around when the next 6-month renewal rolls around. That would be in October. You ruined ECOC. This is extortion. You already had a 4-page contract signed by ECOC, and you lost it. So you call her up and harass her to get another one. And then ECOC says, I don't want to do it. So there goes the signer, and I have to go to Peekskill. That's about 100 miles, and get a new signer. Here I do all your work and send my signers the April 1st to September 30th renewal form, saving you all that postage, and then you have to be so ungracious. Heck sent my Bergen signer a letter and a renewal form. You didn't do that for my Westchester Duchess signers. So why all of a sudden you refuse to talk to me and hang up after 8 years of failing of talking to each other several times a month. Cecilia and I have talked for 8 years, several times a month. And then when I call her up to see if she received my renewals, she hangs up. Have you taken care of the backup signers that I had in Peekskill, or have you ruined those? I want a list of the public access producers in Peekskill and telephone numbers to see if you are as mean to them as you are to me. It is state law to provide such a list. That's the start of the letter, and there'll probably be more. And then simultaneously, if this cat will allow, I'm writing a letter to Charles Dolan. Could I please have this kitty cat? Oh, thank you. Do you want the people to see how beautiful you are? She is. She's just beautiful. I don't know how God does it. She's just beautiful. Here. Show the people your nice face. Not a great face. Now look at the camera. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Look right at the camera. That's it, so they can see all your beautiful markings. Aren't you just the loveliest kitty cat? This is Charlotte. Letter to Charles Dolan. Chairman, Cablevision. I'm sending you my renewals. The person you have working for you who should take care of these renewals is inept. So I'm sending them to you to take care of. She won't talk to me on the phone. She hangs up. Her name is Cecilia Mastorelli. Her address is 1053 Park Street, Peekskill, New York, 10566. Her number is 914-737-4798, and she is wasting our shareholders' money. My signer in Nassau, Woodbury, had to stay up all night, February the 11th, in the February cold, outdoors, to get his and my time slot. He and his daughter put their chair in line at 6 p.m. Tuesday the night before and went home, and they came back at 3:30 a.m. and slept in their car until 7 a.m. At 9 a.m. the doors opened. They were 14th in line. Dozens of others were caused by you to stay up all night out in the February cold, and this happened only a few miles from your home. And all of these people are guaranteed their time slots for life. The law says first come, first served. The law does not say first come, first served every 6 months. Their time slots cannot go to a second come without their consent. This is how you break the laws promiscuously. Public access, shareholder, subscribers, Yankees. Cecilia's supervisor, Christine Savarino, is just as inept and is just as much a shareholder waste. She is in White Plains. You still do not know how to do system-wide public access in Westchester. 20 towns in one of the richest areas that we have are in medieval days. They have no system-wide public access just because you don't know how to do it, Charles Dolan. You failed fiduciary responsibility yesterday with Savarino on the witness stand and Park Avenue lawyer all day in the Rye, spending thousands and thousands trying to escape a $3,000 order by the appellate term to Glendora because you did not return 53 videotapes of a chat with Glendora. You are giving up cable and going to satellite, just like your customers. This is Glendora to Charles F. Dolan, the chairman of Cablevision. I think you are stepping down, says Glendora, as chairman because 1, you don't want to face Glendora anymore at annual meetings, and 2, because you know Time Warner is coming. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Both Christina and Cecilia should be fired. Life will be so much pleasanter when Time Warner comes. I am on many of their systems, and they do not do the foolish things that you do about public access. One files an initial paper with Time Warner, and that's it. They don't waste shareholder money on useless renewals every 6 months. This renewal harassment of yours is more fiduciary irresponsibility to shareholders and is actionable. You remember, your renewals rather serve no purpose, legal or illegal. I've been made a poor person by you, a billionaire, or a former billionaire, or whatever the status is now. I spent thousands of scant dollars trying to keep up with your phony renewals of no statutory authority. Budil, Garger, Miles Rich also should be dropped as shareholder waste. If they were responsible employees, I wouldn't have to be writing and sending these renewals to you. They harass my signers for a utility bill as proof of residency. In other words, Charles Dolan is saying to a signer, I don't believe you. When a signer signs and says, this is my residence, well, then they call him up and say, will you send a utility bill to prove that this is your residence? In other words, Charles Dolan is saying to these signers, I don't believe you. And these irresponsibles could verify the signer's address simply by looking it up in your